Hi.
Hi, Charles.
Hi.
So I'm amazed to see that the service which you are doing to
Yeah.
spread this the special tea which
Yeah.
has been old enough for 15 years,
15
right?
years, yeah.
And could you please tell us and our viewers the specialty of this tea and the service you are doing and a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Uh, Thanks for asking. My name is Charles. You can find me at Nomad Charles on Instagram or YouTube. And I'm a former NASA engineer turned tea artist.
Oh, that's nice to
So
hear.
I started as a rocket scientist working for NASA. I designed their first iPhone app. Here's the medal that I got for the Software of the Year award. And this is long time ago. After that, I worked for Apple, Singularity University, a bunch of other tech companies. And then 8 years ago, I decided to leave a corporate job in the US to travel the world. So since then, I've traveled to over 36 different countries. I lived in 16 of them. In the last 6 years, I lived in Taiwan. 2 years ago, I fell in love with tea. I entered a tea ceremony competition and I represented the United States. And this year, I'm traveling the world as a tea artist. And I'm gifting tea ceremonies. And what a tea ceremony is basically a very mindful practice of drinking tea in a very small cup. So today I brought a 15-year-old aged white tea to share with everyone. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the white tea as the temperature is cooling. There's many different types of tea. And the easiest way to understand what the tea is there's a range of oxidation levels.
Okay.
If this represents tea that has been oxidized, which means it's more natural and not as much processed, we have white tea. So white tea, when you first pick it, you don't really do anything with it. You just dry it and then you just let it naturally become tea leaves.
Okay.
This is this type of tea. And then after white tea, you have green tea. You have oolong tea, which oolong tea has the largest range, and it's a really popular type of tea in Taiwan. And then after oolong tea, there's black tea. So I believe most of the tea that we drink in Kana and many places in India is black tea. And then you have even darker teas like pu'er tea. So this represents the range of different types of teas. Now the tea that I have today is white tea, but it's been aged for 15 years. And when you have tea in its very natural form, slowly aged for a long time, it ferments and the flavor builds up. So the tea here is probably like the 11th time I've added hot water. So it's the 11th steep. And I'm gonna share some.
Really, we are so grateful and you are doing such noble thing and spreading this awareness and it would help us a lot, giving us health benefits. I appreciate.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So the other time you have shown that you are going to ferment it, right, and close it, the tea powder also. Could you please show that, the tea powder?
Sure. So if you want to store tea in a very natural way, you want to store it in a way that breathes. So this is an example of what the tea looks like before I brewed it.
The reason behind keeping it like this, it should
Okay.
get fermented, right?
Yeah, so normally if somebody wanted to store tea, they would just store this. You know, this is a cloth that allows oxygen to go in. So as the tea is slowly brewing, or the tea is slowly fermenting, is breathing. So this tea is alive. Now when I want to take it to places and I want to share it, I put it in a very airtight container. So then I seal off, and I don't want any like other things to kind of change the flavor of the container. This is a part of a tea cake that the universe kind of gifted me a few months ago. And this is the last bit of this tea. So it's very precious. That's why I'm keeping it in an airtight container.
Okay, this is what only left out.
So when I first bought the tea, it was like a disc.
Okay.
We call it the tea cake.
Ha, ha.
and it's about 225 grams.
Oh.
And today I brewed about maybe 10 to 15 grams. And this is the last bit of that tea cake.
So you're going to spread the awareness with that left out whatever is there, right?
This is one of the teas that I brought.
Huh.
This is another type of tea that I brought. This is wild black tea from Taiwan. And then in my current room, I have several other different types of teas.
Okay.
And I pick the tea based on what I feel on the day of and who I think is going to have some of my tea. So it's just like if you're a DJ, you know, you think about who's going to be enjoying your music and then you come up with a playlist on the spot. Yeah.
So nice meeting you, Charles, and happy to get to know this information, and even it is for our viewers also, it would help them a lot to know this. And we tasted it, it's amazing. Thank you so much, Charles.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Hi Charles, could you please tell us the motto behind or what motivated you to spread this awareness to everyone?
Sure. 2 years ago when I fell in love with tea, I got to learn a lot. I got to learn a lot from a lot of tea masters that really knew how to brew tea. And I also got to know a lot of farmers. And I realized that a lot of the tea that I have that gives me a very subtle feeling of energy or relaxation come from teas that are organic.
Okay.
Most of the tea that people drink in this world are production farming based, which means they use fertilizer, they use pesticide. Because their intention for growing tea is to grow as much tea as they want or as they can and to sell it for profit. So the reason I'm gifting tea ceremonies is first, I want to raise the awareness and the consciousness of everyone to get to know tea in a different way. The natural way, very mindful way. And I hope that people that experience my tea ceremony can fall in love with tea.
Yes.
And after people fall in love with the tea and they want to buy tea.
Sorry. Morris left his bag here.
Maybe it's that one. So, this world, sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll clap. Okay. This year, I'm going to be traveling the world sharing tea ceremonies. And the reason that I'm sharing tea ceremonies is I believe that this is a very mindful way for people to taste tea and experience tea. And all the tea that I share are either organic, wild, or aged tea. Most of the tea that people drink in this world come from a farm that uses pesticide and fertilizer. But I believe that tea can raise the world's consciousness on, how it could be kind of different. So once we participate in the tea ceremony and we drink tea in a very mindful way, we can feel very subtle things beyond flavor, beyond aroma, beyond texture. We can feel energy. We can feel emotion. And those type of subtle things come from tea that grows in a very natural and a very healthy environment. So my wish is to help more people fall in love with tea, have more people fall in love with drinking tea in a very mindful way, so we can feel more and be aware at a deeper level. And then once we're more aware, we can notice, wow, teas from organic farming, wild farming taste very differently. And then people can make different purchasing decisions to buy tea from those farms. So I don't plan on selling tea. I just plan on gifting tea from farmers that I personally know, that I go and visit their farm. And when people want to buy their tea, I want to help connect them directly with the farmers so they can buy tea directly. And I believe that as more people buy more tea from organic farmers, our planet could be better, our consciousness can get raised together, and it'll just be a better planet for everyone overall. So that's why I'm doing this.
Thank you so much, Charles, and you have been doing such a noble awareness task, and I appreciate, and it would help all our viewers also. Thank you once again.